Hello everybody and welcome here to a special video on my YouTube channel, as I'm going to be doing my FIFA World Cup 2026 predictions. I am currently wearing the England's 1966 World Cup when Sir Bobby Moore, number 6 right there on your screens, won the World Cup for England. And since 60 years ago we have not won the FIFA World Cup for 60 long years of hurt. And maybe football might be coming home maybe by winning the World Cup in North America, in the States. But if it doesn't, maybe it won't. Who knows? We're going to be doing my predictions right now for all the countries, not just England, but all the countries, 48 nations in the World Cup. And I'm going to predict from all the way from the start of the group stages all the way into the finals and find out who will become the winners of the World Cup. Last time around, Argentina under Lionel Messi won the 2022's World Cup in Qatar, and now 4 years later we have got another World Cup will be taking place obviously this year, 4 years later. And we'll start things first here with the World Cup predictions starting on this video. And now we've got on the screen here, right here, we have is all the teams, all the countries from Group A all the way down to Group L. I'm going to be predicting all of these teams in this FIFA World Cup, on which position they're going to be by the end of the group stages first. We'll start things first for the group stages of the World Cup. We'll start things here in Group A of the World Cup. We've got Mexico, the hosts of the World Cup. We've got South Africa, South Korea, and also Czech Republic. These are the 4 countries are in the World Cup. Czech Republic knocked out Denmark out in the playoffs way back in March to guarantee a place to play in the World Cup this year. Their first ever World Cup appearance since 2010, or no, 2006 was the last time when Czech Republic played in the World Cup. Korea, every year they always qualify for this competition. South Africa never played in the World Cup since he hosted the World Cup way back in 2010, and since then, after 16 years, their first World Cup back for them. And also Mexico have been in it every single year since I've remembered. But if I got to put a prediction with these 4 countries, I think that Mexico will come first because they're the host nations, or one of the host nations in this World Cup with Canada and America. So I think it's easy to say that with the heat and, you know, the exposure, the fans, and, you know, all the Mexican fans will be all over Mexico to go win all the games in the group. I think it makes perfect sense to put Mexico in first place. In second place, I think it's going to be either a toss between Korea and Czech Republic. But I'm going to go probably Czech Republic to come second. And I think South Korea will come third. And then South Africa will come fourth in Group A. Okay, we move on now to Group B of the FIFA World Cup. We've got Bosnia and Herzegovina, Canada, Qatar and Switzerland. It could have been Italy's World Cup, it could have been, but they got knocked out on penalties to Bosnia way back in the playoff finals back in March. So it could have been very, very interesting if Italy did actually qualify for the World Cup and had them in this group instead. But it feels like very open in terms of these 3 nations to try and get a sniff in second place. But I think Switzerland will definitely come first. The team have been in it every single year. I think it's a toss between these 3 nations, but I think as Canada are the host nation, I'm going to put them second place. I know that Afonso Davies is out injured, by the way, and he's not playing the games at the moment. I think he's in the World Cup squad, but he's not fit to play, but he could play though. But I think Canada will come second, and I think Bosnia will come third, and I think Qatar will come fourth. Qatar, their second World Cup after when they were hosted the World Cup in 2022, 4 years ago, and they qualified through the Asian qualifiers. Bosnia, I put them in third position. They knocked out Italy out the playoffs. Their second appearance in the World Cup, I think it's safe to say that they'll come third. And I think with Canada, with their fans, and they're the host nation, the weather's going to be nice for them, the same weather they're used to. I think that Canada will get second place. But I do think Switzerland will be the better team to lead the group first because they've got some very good, incredible players in their squads, and I think that they will be the ones who will come first place. If Italy, however, went through and beat Bosnia, I think Italy could have come first in this group. But since they're not in this World Cup at all, I think Switzerland will come first in the group. Now we move on now to Group C. We have the Brazilians of Brazil. We've got them, Morocco, Haiti and Scotland. I think easy to say that Brazil will come first. I think they will definitely come first because they are the best. They are the World Cup of the World Cups. Without Brazil, there's no World Cup without Brazil. And I think that they are won it 5 times this competition. And it's easy to say they've got some very good classy players. Carlo Ancelotti is the head coach for Brazil's national team. And I think that he will give it a go as a national team manager. And it'd be good for him to get first place in Group C. I think Morocco will come second, because Morocco are a very, very good nation. You see what they've done in 2022. They came semi-finalists in the World Cup. Semi-finalists, the only African team who reached into the last 4 of the World Cup way back from 4 years ago. And I think it's safe to say that I think Morocco will come second. And I think Scotland will come third. And Haiti will come fourth. The Scottish, their first World Cup appearance in 1986. They'll be in this World Cup after 40 years away from it. And I think they will definitely beat Haiti in the first game. And I think Scotland might struggle to Morocco and Brazil. And I think Morocco will be the better team compared to Scotland. Will get second place though. But I'm going to say Scotland to come third and Morocco to come second. Now we go to Group D, United States of America's group. We've got the USA, Paraguay, Australia and Turkey. Very tough group though, because I know America's hosting the World Cup, but you've got to bear in mind that Paraguay is a good, well, they're not a good national team, but they've had history to be in the knockout phases in the past when they came quarter-finalists in 2010's World Cup in South Africa. And that Paraguay have got Miguel Almiron, is a very, very good player in the Paraguayan team. Played for Newcastle. He'll be a big, big threat for the Paraguay's key talisman in their squad. Australia done well in the last World Cup to get the round of 16 against France. They did actually come second in French's group, but lost to Argentina in the round of 16 of the World Cup. They might give it themselves a best shot. Even the heat might even help them a little bit for Australia. For Turkey, I think that could be the exact same thing for them. They've had, not been in the World Cup now for 16 years. So 20 years now. 20 years without playing in the World Cup. I thought they played in the 2006 World Cup, but I backfired that question. They actually last appeared in the World Cup in 2002 in Japan and Korea's World Cup. And they came semi-finalists in that World Cup 20 odd years ago now. And you've got these nations. I think any of these nations could beat each other in this World Cup. Obviously USA with Pochettino as their head coach. I think it's safe to say that maybe America will come first in the group, just because they're host nations, and even Pochettino will get the best out of their team. I think second place, I'm going to probably say... Turkey comes second, and I might say Paraguay come third, and Australia come fourth. I think that'll be the group for Group D. Now we go now to this group here. We've got Germany. Can't pronounce their name, but they are a little island that is owned by the Netherlands. They're in the World Cup. Dick Advocaat is their head coach. Is it Curaçao? Knocked out Jamaica out of the qualifying rounds. You've got them, you've got the Ivory Coast, and you've got Ecuador in the Group E. Germany will come first. I think between the Ivory Coast and Ecuador, I think with South America and also North America, the heat is going to be a little bit the same. I think Ecuador comes second, and I think the Ivory Coast will come third in this group. Very easy to say, I think. And I think Curaçao will be knocked out of the World Cup in Group E. Right, we move on now to Group F of the World Cup. The Netherlands, Japan, Sweden and Tunisia. In a way, I think the Netherlands will come first. I think that they've got a good side, strong side. Netherlands are a good national team. I think it's easy to say the Netherlands will come first. Sweden with Gyökeres, Alexander Isak in their side, good players in their team. I think maybe they come second, Sweden. I think Japan will come third. Japan, however, good football. I love their football a lot. They've got some good players, but you've got to bear it in mind that there's a few players out injured in the Japanese national team. You remember, obviously, Matoma from Brighton. He's out entirely out of the World Cup. He's a real top player in the Japanese national team. He'd be missing out the World Cup, Matoma, due to injury, and I think that might affect Japan a little bit. I think that's why I'm putting Sweden second place, and that's why I'm putting Japan in third place. I would have put Japan in second place, but since Sweden has got some fit players compared to Japan's team, they've not got many players fit in their side. I think it's safe to say that Sweden will come second and Japan will come third, but I think Japan will give it a go in third place and then get through the rankings though. But I think Netherlands and Sweden will get into the knockout rounds very comfortably. Alright, we move on now to Group G. Got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and also New Zealand. I will probably say Belgium will come first very comfortably. But it's going to be a very, very interesting one for Iran, though, because Iran, you know, the political reasons with the war with America, and it's well documented about them may not even participate at all for the World Cup, or they might be banned entirely or whatnot. But they are allowed to play in the World Cup, but they can't obviously train in America, though. They've got to train in Mexico. That's why all their games in America, they've got to play the games and then leave the game and go straight back to their training camp in Mexico, though. So it might be a bit of a chance. Maybe Iran might give it a go in this World Cup. They might even really prove the odds. They think they want to show America what they're all about, not just in football, but obviously politically as well. You know, with America, they killed their supreme leader, and there's a lot of conflict, obviously, on the news and that. I think Iran's players might be very fueled to try and fight in America in the matches in football, and I think they're going to really give it a go around. I think they're going to in this World Cup. But you've got to bear in mind Egypt. They've got Mo Salah, top class player. He did leave Liverpool obviously during after the end of the season though. He's also playing the World Cup. You've got New Zealand, who won the Oceania's qualifiers though. Only one team can get through from that. They've got Chris Wood, a top class player, and even a player who plays in the National League South, the sixth tier English football, is in the World Cup. Tommy Smith, the defender, played in the World Cup in 2010, and he's the lowest in terms of league rankings ever to be in a World Cup, actually, in fact. But I think, in a way, I think Egypt will come second, I think Iran will come third, and I think New Zealand will come fourth. I think New Zealand have not got the best. Only obviously Chris Wood's the better player in the whole of the New Zealand team, but most of those players are not as very professional. These players are semi-professional, so these players are. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem for New Zealand to try and break in third place. So I think they're going to be heading home, New Zealand. Iran will fight throughout these 3 games in the World Cup group stages, but I think Egypt's got enough quality compared to Iran. Even Egypt's players, they invest quite a lot of football in their country, and I think it is well better off. I think in terms of everyone will be predicting this group, I think Egypt will be a lot better off to come second and Iran to come third, and then Belgium, obviously, with their quality they've got in their team, they'll come first in Group G. Now we move on to this group, Group H of the World Cup. We've got Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and also Uruguay. I think Spain will come first, nice and comfortably. They've got a good side. Also, Lamel will be making his first appearance in a World Cup ever. He did win the Euros for Spain in 2024 as Lamine Lamel's first World Cup appearance for him for Spain. I think it's nice to say that he will be the one to give Spain that first place in Group H. In second place, I'm going to go Uruguay. I think for Marcelo Bielsa, former Leeds manager, he's head coach for the Uruguayan national team, and I think that they've done it before. They've been throughout this group stages experiencedly enough through the years. I think they will definitely come comfortably second, and I think Saudi Arabia will come third, and I think Cape Verde will be sent home in fourth place. But Saudi Arabia will come third position though. Their football's a lot invested in Saudi though. They've got a lot of investment in their league, and you've got Ronaldo playing there. You've got a lot of like older players or strong top class players playing their league, and they invest a lot of money into football in Saudi. So I think it's safe to say that Saudi will get third position. Might give it a go against Uruguay though, but I think they might miss out on second place into third position. But I think Uruguay's got enough quality compared to Saudi to come second place. Right, we move on now to Group I of the World Cup. France will come first, definitely. I think Senegal, Norway, and also Iraq. I think it will definitely be Norway will come second. I think Senegal will come third, and Iraq will come fourth. Iraq's first ever World Cup since 1974. For Senegal, they won the African Cup of Nations for the last time. I think was it them or Morocco? Between them and Morocco, won the African Cup of Nations, but they've won it a few times. Obviously, they've got enough quality in their team to win maybe in those competitions in Africa, but I think they've got enough quality as a squad. Also, from bringing that from the African Cup of Nations into the World Cup, like Sadio Mane, Koulibaly in their team. You've got those type of players in their squad will be playing in this FIFA World Cup. And you've got for Norway, you've got Erling Haaland, a top striker. And even Norway in their qualifying rounds never lost a single game in Italy's group. They came first with 24 points. They won every single match in that qualifiers. And Erling Haaland as well, his first ever World Cup appearance for Erling Haaland, and the first appearance for Norway in a World Cup since 1998 in France. So I think it makes perfect sense, you know, with Odegaard as well playing there. You got also Erling Haaland. I think with that quality, with those players in their team, I think they'd be safe to say they'll come second, and then France will come first in Group I. So the World Cup winners from last time in 2022, Argentina, Algeria, Austria and Jordan. Jordan's first ever World Cup appearance ever in their national team's history. Argentina are current holders of the World Cup. Algeria obviously got Mahrez in their team. Is also good to see that they have him in their side. Austria, they also got a very good side as well in Europe as well to qualify in the first place in the World Cup. I think I'm going to go for Argentina to come first. Definitely so. Definitely an easy group for them. I think Austria will come second, and I think Algeria will come third. But it'll be a fight between Austria and Algeria to get second place. But I think easily, comfortably, Argentina will go through the group in first place. Right, in Group K, we've got in Ronaldo's group, we've got Portugal, got Congo Republic, Uzbekistan, and also Colombia. Portugal come first, I think easily to say. I probably think Colombia will come second, and I think Congo will come third in their group. Congo have got some good players in their team, very good players in their team. I do rate their squad a lot. I think they deserve to be in it when they won the African playoffs to get into the World Cup in the first place. But they'll come third though, because Colombia have still got some quality players like Luis Diaz in their squad, and also James Rodriguez as well in their team. So I think it's easy to say that Colombia will be a better side compared to Congo, due to the fact that South America is a lot closer to Mexico, and also with America with the heat compared to Congo's heat. So I think it would be easy to say that Colombia will come second. And then Portugal, Ronaldo, his last World Cup maybe, or likely to be now at the age of 41 years of age. I think they're going to win the group in Group K. Now we move on to the last groups of the whole tie group stages of the World Cup. Is our country, my country, England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama will be in this group. England will come first, nice and easy. I think Croatia will come second. Luka Modric playing his 5th World Cup. He will be his last World Cup ever as a player of the Croatian national team, because in 4 years' time he'll be very old. So I think it'll be Croatia will come second, and I think Ghana will come third, and then Panama will come 4th in the World Cup in Group L. So that's what I'm thinking for the group stages of the World Cup. Now we move on to our next slide. Now we move on now to picking the best 8 who will come into the round of 32, because these third place teams also can qualify in the FIFA World Cup on the best in terms of the most points they'll get in each of their respective groups. So we do have is Senegal came in third position. We got obviously Japan, Iran, Korea, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Paraguay, Scotland, Congo, Saudi Arabia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Ghana. I think with Senegal's group, I think they're going to get enough points to qualify. I think it'll be them. I think Japan will have enough due to the injury crisis. Iran will fight. I think they'll really fight to try and get enough points in their groups, but I think Korea will be the... I might leave them there for now. I think Algeria will have enough points. Ivory Coast will have enough points. Paraguay will have enough points. I would say that maybe... I think in Scotland will have enough points. Saudi Arabia has enough points. Maybe not. Maybe maybe Ghana will probably have enough points due to the fact we're in the same group as them in the World Cup. I think these nations will play into the round of 32 of the World Cup, who had the most best points in third place. So I'm saying it will be Senegal, Japan, South Korea, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Paraguay, Scotland, and Ghana will go through into the round of 32 in the best third place rankings. Let's go now and pick out the knockouts. So we do have here on Monday, the 29th of June, it's Germany and Paraguay. Well, Paraguay might have enough in terms of the heat. They got the advantage due to the weather, the heat as well, between maybe Boston and Paraguay, because it's in America's side though. But Germany, I think that they will definitely go through because the quality's there in the German national team. France and Japan, I'm going easy to say that France will go through in Los Angeles Stadium on the 28th of June. I'm going to go for between Canada or Czech Republic. The hosts, Canada versus Czech Republic. I'm going to say if Afonso Davies is fit for that game, it might be a tough one for Czech Republic though, and also the advantages might be on Canada's side compared to the Czech side though. But since Czech Republic's got, you know, a little bit more quality because they're a European country, and plus they're the better rankings compared to Canada in the FIFA rankings, I'm saying they'll go through into the round of 16. The Netherlands and Morocco, because Morocco, you got to bear it in mind, they got into the semi-finals of the World Cup in Qatar though. Netherlands, however, they also will have a chance. They're playing in Mexico Stadium though, but Morocco's got a little bit of the heat advantages. They're used to that heat compared to the Netherlands though in a World Cup. But I'm going to say probably the Netherlands will go through, I think, into the next round, just because they've got enough quality compared to Morocco's team. And now moving to the Toronto Stadium on the 1st of July between Colombia and Croatia. I'm going Croatia to go through. The Los Angeles Stadium on the 2nd of July. I'm going to go between Spain or Austria. Spain will go through. In San Francisco, between the USA and the Ivory Coast, I'm going for America to win because America are hosting it in San Francisco, and also the fans will all be behind America though, so I think the USA will go through. Seattle Stadium between Belgium and South Korea, I'm going Belgium to go through. In Houston Stadium between Sweden and Brazil, I'm going Brazil to go through. Ecuador and Norway, I'm going to go Norway to go through. In Mexico City Stadium, it's going to be an easy one for Mexico. They're playing Scotland in their capital city. Mexico's capital city of Mexico is Mexico City, and they're playing that against Scotland. Easy win for Mexico. They're going through. At the Atlanta Stadium on the 1st of July between England and Senegal, I'm going England. Easy go through. In Miami Stadium on the 3rd of July, it's Argentina versus Uruguay. I'm going to go Argentina to win that game. And then we have here in Dallas Stadium, will be Turkey and Egypt. I think Turkey will go through into the round of 16. They've got a little bit of quality compared to Egypt, despite they've got Mo Salah in their team. But Turkey have got some very good players as well, so I think it'll be Turkey will go through. And then at the Vancouver Stadium in Thursday, the 2nd of July, between Switzerland and Algeria, I'm going Switzerland. And at Kansas City Stadium on the 3rd of July, between Portugal and Ghana, I'm going Portugal to go through into the round of 16 of the FIFA World Cup. Now we're heading now to the round of 16 of the World Cup between Germany and France. I think personally, maybe it's a tough one to ask because these two nations are real top quality. You've got to bear it in mind, France have been a World Cup winner in 2018 and World Cup finalists in the last World Cup in 2022. Germany won the World Cup 12 years ago in 2014 in Brazil. It's a tough one though. But Germany have not been very good recently in their track record in the World Cup group stages. In 2018 and 2022, Germany got knocked out in the group stages of the FIFA World Cup though. And they're not as good as they were before though. I think France will go through into the quarterfinals of the World Cup in Boston. Now, in the quarterfinals, who will win between Czech Republic and the Netherlands on Saturday the 4th of July? It's going to be an interesting one, though, between these two European countries. I'm going to go for the Netherlands to win that matchup very easily in Houston. I think the Netherlands will go through nicely in that game. And at the Dallas Stadium between Croatia and Spain, I think it'll be a farewell for Luka Modric, his last ever game as a player for 20 years for his country will come to retirement after this matchup over Spain. And I think that extra time, Spain will go through and knock Croatia out of the World Cup. Now we have is the USA and Belgium. Is in America though, is in Seattle Stadium in the USA's turf in this World Cup round of 16. I'm going to go and say, with Pochettino as the head coach, you might get the best out of America maybe. Belgium as well, not the best side though, I would say. I'm going to be surprising and make an upset here. I think America might go through into the quarterfinals of the World Cup by an upset though. Maybe on penalties, I think USA will take this game to, and I think America will win in their home soil and go through into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. And now we move on now to New York, Jersey, between Brazil and Norway on the 5th of July. It will be an ending for Erling Haaland in this World Cup. He'll be knocked out in the round of 16 of the World Cup. And I'm going Brazil easily to go through into the quarterfinals. Interesting matchup this is going to be about between my country, England. We are playing in Mexico City, Mexico. In Mexico's capital. We are playing Mexico, the host nation, in this World Cup. It's going to be very hard to say because Mexico are used to the heat. We are not used to the heat compared to Mexico though. Mexico have gotten a home advantage over England though. And it could be an upset, it could be for Mexico to knock us out and get into the quarterfinals of the World Cup against Brazil maybe in the last 8. But I'm going to say England will go through. I think we'll take this game to penalties. I think we might take it to and win the game on pens. And I think it will be a very tough game though. Mexico ain't going to be an easy game, it won't be. I think that's going to be the hardest ones out of all the countries who played so far in the World Cup. I think Mexico will make it tough for us, but I think we've got enough quality and we'll sneak it through and we'll play into that last 8 of the World Cup. Now, Argentina and Turkey in Atlanta. I'm going Argentina to go through. Switzerland and Portugal in Vancouver. I'm going to go for the ending of Switzerland. I think Portugal will go through into the last 8 of the FIFA World Cup. Now we go to this matchup in Boston on the 9th of July between France and the Netherlands. It's still a tough game though, but I think with France, with Mbappe as well, you know, you really got him to be playing in this grand stage, his 3rd ever World Cup appearance as well in the French national team. He'll be a very, very top class player to watch for as well. And they've got a strong team compared to the Netherlands though. And France know how to do it. They've been in these situations before. They got into that last 2 and even won the World Cup before with this squad of players. So I'm going to go for France to go through and knock the Netherlands out in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So now we go to the USA and Spain. It's in the USA's home turf in Los Angeles. America's going to get used to this game more, the heat advantages between the Spain and the USA though. And America in their home soil, in their home country, and they're playing Spain in this World Cup. And also, you got to remember as well, Yamal, a top rising player, you know, won the Euros in 2024 for Spain. And even again here, 2 years later, he wants to try and maybe win the World Cup for his country. They've got some very good players in the Spanish national team, will be in this World Cup. And the player quality is going to be a lot better off, an advantage for Spain compared to the USA though. The USA, fair play to them. They really pushed themselves into that last 8 of the World Cup for the first time since 2002, but I'm going Spain to go through into that last 4 in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Now we move on to Miami Stadium, Saturday the 11th, Brazil and England. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting matchup. It's not going to be an easy match. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. It's going to be a very, very, very tough game it's going to be for us though, because I know that in the World Cup ever in our lifetimes, we never beat Brazil. We beat them in the friendly matches before, but we never even beaten Brazil in a major tournament before, especially in the World Cup. And we were actually never won against them in these sort of competitions. Brazil have got some very strong players in their squad, and even as well that they have not been the best in terms of, you know, going to win the World Cup now since 2002. Like 20 years ago now, Brazil have never won the FIFA World Cup. As of for England, we never won it for the last 60 years. Maybe we might get some injuries maybe, like Declan Rice, Saka might have a little bit of knocks maybe. You know, that Spain game might be a little bit too much for us to push ourselves a bit too far in the World Cup tournament, because Mexico might give us a real huge game. Plus we've got 4 days or 5 days apart from the game against Mexico on Sunday and the game against Brazil on that following Saturday. Might give us a little bit of time to get this team to be ready for Brazil. But since Brazil have you know, we've never beaten Brazil in a World Cup tournament before, I think Brazil will knock England out in the World Cup. I don't know why, but I'm thinking we are not the team will go and win this World Cup. Even we played New Zealand from that friendly matchup from 2 days ago, we only won that game narrowly 1-0. We didn't score 3 or 4 goals. We weren't creative enough. We weren't under Thomas Tuchel. We weren't very on it throughout that game. I know it's a pre-season game before the World Cup begins, but I haven't seen the players scoring more goals or, you know, try and dominate New Zealand in that matchup. That's why I think that in that sense, you know, playing, you know, Croatia, you know, playing also Mexico in that last game in the round of 16 really took it very far into the penalty shootout and win on penalties, and then play against Brazil. We've got a lot better quality compared to us. It'd be too much for us, I think. That's why I think that our run will come to an end in the quarterfinals of the World Cup going into the 11th of July, in my opinion. Now we move on to this game here in Kansas City. It's going to be Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, the GOAT, versus the other GOAT of Lionel Messi, who's already won the World Cup 4 years beforehand. He won the World Cup in Qatar. Ronaldo never won the World Cup ever in his lifetime, but he wants to end his footballing career in this World Cup for Portugal to win and lift up the World Cup trophy. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go and beat his rival, his GOAT, or the other GOAT, Messi, that everyone calls him. I think Ronaldo's a lot better than Messi in terms of the quality, in terms of as an individual. You know, he looks after himself. Messi, you know, is a creative player who likes to have the team around him. Ronaldo does things all by himself. That's why I admire Ronaldo a lot more than I do with Lionel Messi. But This is going to be a very, very, very interesting game. This is going to be a box office matchup. It'll be a popcorn, this matchup. It feels like a boxing fight between Messi and Ronaldo, because whoever loses this game, we all know, between Messi and Ronaldo, these two will have their last ever World Cup playing. It's a last dance for these two players, because these two players will be retiring, likely. Never at all next World Cup they'll be playing at all in 2030. They'll be too old, they're going to be. It's going to be a real box office match. It feels like in WWE, like a career-ending matchup, it feels like, between Ronaldo and Messi. And I think this game will be a very intense matchup. This game will come down to extra time, I think this will go straight to. And then go straight a penalty shootout, I think, between Portugal and Argentina. I think, I'm not being like Ronaldo lover or anything like that, but I think Portugal, I've seen they've done quite well during their friendly matches, and they've been really recruiting quite well. They've got some very good players like Bruno Fernandes, Batalla as well. You've got Bernardo Silva. You've got all these players in their team. Same with Messi. With Argentina, they've got Messi. You've got Emiliano Martinez. They've got still some real classy players in the Argentina national team. Is in the World Cup this year. Will really give Portugal a real heck of a go. It's going to be a very interesting one, because there's a lot involved in this matchup. It's going to be a career-ending matchup for any of these two nations. But these two nations have got some good players. Like I've said before, Rodrigo de Paul plays for Argentina. You've got Julian Alvarez as well, Simeone. You've got obviously our recent Messi, also Emiliano Martinez. They've got Tagliafico, we've got Lisandro Martinez, who plays for Manchester United. They've got some good players, Argentina. The same goes to Portugal, like I said before, with Bruno Fernandes, Batalla as well, João Neves as well, Bernardo Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo. I just think that Portugal might do it. I'm not being selfish about, I'm being too biased about Ronaldo, because I like Ronaldo a lot more than Messi. I'm not biased about that. I just think that it's their time now. I think they're going to stop Argentina in the last 8. It's going to be a lot of controversial game at the end, I think. But I think Portugal will somehow go past Argentina. So I'm going to go for Portugal to go through into the semi-finals of the World Cup. Right, we move on now to that last 4 of the World Cup. We've got France and Spain, and we do have Brazil and Portugal. I'm going to go straight into this game first to predict between France and Spain. Well, France got to the finals of the World Cup in 2022 and lost the penalties to Argentina. They're in it. Spain, who won the Euros against England in 2024. They've got the rising player in their team, Lamine Yamal, playing in this World Cup. Will be a real top prospect. I think he'll be I reckon he'll be a player of the tournament. I think Yamal's going to be. I think because he's another rising star, another new Lionel Messi. I think he's going to be in the future, in future of football though. And they do play France, have been in these situations now and experienced enough to be in these situations, to be in that last 4 and also in a final and also win the whole entire thing. I think, I'm not being controversial here with in this game. I just think Spain might do it. I know Mbappe's also going to be in this World Cup. I know that he will definitely try and really stop Spain to go through in this game. But I think Spain, since I was quite impressed with Spain when they knocked us out or beat us in that Euros final way back in Germany 2 years ago, I think Spain might do it. I think they might beat France. I think this game will go straight to penalties, I think it will be. And I think that Spain will have enough to go through into that final of the FIFA World Cup. So I'm going to go for Spain to go through. Now we go to the other game in the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. We have got Ronaldo, his last ever World Cup as a player for a World Cup. He's been 6 appearances since 2006 to 2026. He knocked out Messi out in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. For Brazil, however, they beat England in the quarterfinals of the World Cup to get into that last four. It's going to be a very intense game between Brazil and Portugal. But I think with Portugal, with their team as well, they've been very, very good, you know, recently in games as well, and winning games during the the friendly matches before the World Cup, and also I've seen a lot of improvements in the Portuguese national team. I think Portugal will go through into the final of the World Cup in New Jersey, New York on the 19th of July. And then we go straight to this game here. It's Spain versus Portugal, the repeat of the final of the Nations League. You can go way back when, obviously, it was actually Diego Jota's last ever game before he passed away in that real bad car accident, and that might give Portugal the fuel to do it for him and win the whole entire FIFA World Cup. Spain, on the other hand, have been very successful. They've been very, very successful, who won the Euros 2 years before, and they're in another final again, but in the World Cup in America. It will be Ronaldo's last ever game as a Portuguese player, because he's 41 and he'll never play any football at all of the World Cup in the next 4 years from now, because he'll be 45 by the time the World Cup occurs in 2030. It's going to be a real interesting matchup. It's going to be a box office matchup, I think. I know Portugal did actually defeat Spain in the Nations League final in 2025 at the time. That was Diego Jota's last ever appearance as a football player, since he tragically passed away a month later from a car accident. And that might even help do it for him as well. Do it for Diego Jota and Ronaldo as well, as last ever World Cup. Do it for those two. That will really help them, I think, to go all the way and win it. I think with Spain, with their rise, with their young prospect of Lamine Yamal, and they've got some good players like Williams in their team, and everything like that is all in check, and they've beaten England in the Euros in 2024. I'm going to go Spain to win the World Cup. I am not swallowing my pride and say Ronaldo's going to win the World Cup this year. I don't think so. I think they're going to beat Argentina. I think they're going to get to the final, maybe so, due to the fact that they've been very, very resilient enough in their form so far during their games at pre-season and that. But I don't think they're going to win it, though. I think Spain, I think they've got a good team ahead of them. They've got some very, very, very good players in their national team is in the World Cup this year. It's going to be a very interesting one. Cucurella is in their World Cup as well, their national team. You've got Lamine Yamal, very good rising prospect. Zamendi plays for my team, Arsenal. You've got those players like Nico Williams, I said before, Ferran Torres. You've got those top players. Laporte is getting on a little bit now at 32 years of age. It's maybe his last World Cup for him as well. Gavi also playing for the Spanish national team. Miguel Moreno as well, playing as well for the Spanish national team. Those players will win Spain the World Cup this year. I think Spain will do it. I think it's going to be their year. They're going to win the 2026 World Cup. And I hoped you guys all enjoyed my predictions for all of the 48 countries will be participating in the FIFA World Cup. And if you like my YouTube video, go and give my video a subscribe, because it's going to be a very, very cracking, entertaining World Cup we're going to be having. More teams than ever, from 32 teams now to 48 teams, and the World Cup will be huge in America. That's all we have time for. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy this year's World Cup. For the next time here on TGI Football, peace out, and I'll see you guys soon with some more footballing content. Have a good World Cup, everyone.